Hey, what's up, guys? It's Wednesday, December 16th, 2020. Ted here. So, negotiators near an agreement on COVID-19 economic aid bill. Congressional negotiators closed in Wednesday on a 900 billion COVID-19 relief package that would deliver additional paycheck protection, subsidies to businesses, $300 per week jobless checks, and $600 or so stimulus payments to most Americans. So, they warp speeded out the vaccine. They gave us months and months and months and months and months of telling us that they're working on another stimulus package for us. And now they're coming with a stimulus package that, in my opinion, I'm not even for the stimulus. I'm not for printing money like this out of control. It actually decreases the value of the dollar. But in my opinion, if you're struggling right now, this falls short. In my opinion, for all the time we've been waiting and promised, this really falls short. And today, as you know, the vaccine has been being given out since earlier this week, and a healthcare worker in Alaska had an allergic reaction to this. As we know, we talked about last week in the UK, two people had anaphylactic shock reaction to it, and they were telling people if you have allergies not to take it. And this person apparently didn't have any pre-existing allergies that anybody knew of from foods or medicines, but still had the reaction. And speaking of this, I'm sure you guys have heard that Biden, Pence is supposed to have the vaccine on Friday. Biden is supposed to have the vaccine by sometime next week. And when I was reading this and I read that, it popped into my head, what if that old bastard went into anaphylactic shock? Wouldn't that be something? But then that would make Kamala Harris going to be the president-elect according to the media, right? And in Times Square this year, there will be no public audience. So for all of my life, this has been a thing. I don't know. I can't think of one time in my life that they have ever closed down this event. They're shutting this down. And there is supposedly there's going to be a couple spots where people can go, but in order to be able to go into those, you will have to follow all of New York State's laws and mandates, whether it be masks, paperwork that says you've been tested, paperwork that says you've been vaccinated, blah 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 blah. That's the new normal. Get ready for it. You're gonna get this vaccine. I'm not. I say to you, I'm not. But would I endanger the lives of my children not to take it? No. But I'm not going to take it. And I advise you not to either. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo bans the sale of Confederate flags, despite knowing this is against the First Amendment. And we all know that the dictator of New York, Andrew Cuomo, thinks he's a big man. He thinks he has control like that, right? But really, he's just a little nobody. He's nothing. He wouldn't be shit if his father wasn't Mario Cuomo, who was also governor or mayor of New York, and he was a judge. And this is ridiculous. If you ban the sale of that, then you have to ban the sale, or you have to outlaw any type of BLM banners or flags. And what next? The American flag? We're going to ban that too? But also, it just goes to show you this is a guy that is being considered to be the Attorney General of the Attorney General of the United States of America. And he's trying to pass laws banning the sale of things and knowing it's against your First Amendment right. What do you think he's going to do when he has a position of power? He thinks he's something now. Wait till he gets up there, right? And what do you think's after that? All of this is building up for a career of the rest of his political career. And if New York wasn't tyrannical or dystopian enough for you, the New York state lawmakers weigh tax increase on the wealthy. That sounds great on the surface of that headline. What's crazy is it's going to be retroactive. So we talked about this, the exodus out of New York, and especially people with money have been fleeing New York since this all started in huge, huge, huge numbers. As a matter of fact, there was one point where Cuomo was out there begging people not to leave, come back, he'd buy them dinner. I don't know if you guys remember all that. Anyway, now they're going to make it retroactive. So even if you were early in that exodus and you made it out of there, you're still going to pay them money. This is the dictatorship type of stuff that I'm talking about. Where's the freedom? It's just ridiculous. And there it is again, Cuomo, right? Okay, and nearly 8 million Americans have fallen into poverty since the summer. This is why we prep, guys. Everything I'm telling you tonight, this is it. Everything, it's going down. Can you feel it? It's coming. The U.S. poverty rate has surged over the past 5 months, with 7.8 million Americans falling into poverty, the latest indication of how deeply many are struggling after government aid has dwindled, and now they're coming with a stimulus check that hits nowhere near enough. If you're behind already, you have a couple weeks till January when these bans on evictions go away. You're going to give people $600. They're months and months behind on their rent. What are they supposed to do with that? It's getting cold in the Northeast. There's a snowstorm, as a matter of fact, as I'm speaking to you right now. And you're telling us, oh, we're getting close to a deal. But when banks need money, you run to bail them out with billions and billions of dollars. I think you know where this is going. The corporations have taken over the world, and they've taken over America, and they really don't give a shit about me or you. And it's all a farce to think that they do. And part of these 8 million Americans also was another article. I don't have it right up here, but you can easily look it up. It's military families. Military families are in need of food aid. They're reaching out looking for food aid. They even had to, in Fort Bragg, build a food pantry or food bank, if you will, for people to come and get foods. Now, of all the people in the United States of America, these people sacrifice. Not only do the people who are in the military sacrifice, but your family sacrifices while you're away. Long extended periods away from your family, right? This is a struggle all the way around. These people are getting paid, and they're still struggling because the article that I read blames, obviously, the patsy, right? The economy was garbage before all this. This is really just a patsy, and this is the Great Reset. This is it right here. You have the Federal Reserve saying they're going to continue to buy bonds until unemployment reaches full capacity. This just happened today. That's Jerome Powell out talking that today. So we have almost 1 million people a week going on unemployment. I don't think we're going to be reaching full capacity anytime soon, which makes the Federal Reserve the last buyer and seller of last resort of everything, which means soon the wealth transfer will be complete, and you'll have the haves and the have-nots, and the corporations and the central banks will own everything. Everything. And that's the Great Reset that they're talking about. And it's been in the works. This is nothing new. You can go out and find, this has been going on for a long, long time. Look up Jekyll Island. Look up the beginning of the Federal Reserve, the central banks, the first time. We've had central banks in America that we've thrown out in history. But we keep letting them back. They trick us back because it makes life easy to have them. But they use that as a weapon to get us into debt and then own everything that we have as a country. The Federal Reserve owes no allegiance to the United States of America. They are a central bank, and the only concern they have is to make money. And I know I've killed this a lot, but this is why you have all of these Americans falling into poverty. And this is why you have soldiers who are risking their life for our country, families who have to be away from them and worry about them risking their life for our country, have to go to food banks to eat. We can't even take care of their families. But we want to go police the world. And I had heard a lot of rumors about troops in China. And I don't know if you guys heard about a plane that went down in Michigan that supposedly people were saying was shot down by these troops. I've heard troops in Maine. So anyway, this article here goes on to tell us that actually And that all comes from some of the anon posts, I guess, is where I've heard. But I dug and dug and dug for articles, and the only thing that I could find, this one actually came out just today, but there was one from several days ago where they were saying that actually what happened is in 2019 there was Chinese troops in Canada training. China and Trudeau gushes over Xi Jinping and China, and there's other people in Canada's government that put an end to it. And they kicked China out in 2019, told them they can't come back. They were cold weather training. As you can see, this article here asks, what were they cold weather training for? For against which country? And it goes on to state that it was probably against India, because at the time, we've seen in the scuffles and all that through India and China. So that's what they were saying they were there. But Canada threw them out, and they're no longer there. But that brings into question their attitude towards China, Trudeau gushing over him like the Nazis would over Hitler. If they did want to invade us from there, we would have to be concerned, right? Because we can't trust them. Look how he is. They've shown nothing but a hand outreaching in friendship to China, and China is known to be not a great friend of ours. But the plane that went down in Michigan was not shot down by Chinese troops. It was actually crashed. Unfortunately, the pilot did die, but it was on a routine training exercise. It wasn't shot down. There's no troops in China. I've looked into it. Go ahead, type it in. You dig up more if you can. I dug and dug and dug, and this is the most credible stuff that I could find. But anyway, guys, I got to get out of here. Let me get a thumbs up. Don't forget, don't be scared. Be prepared. I'll check you guys out tomorrow.